Welcome to the Adonis Black Show, the only news show where we laugh to keep from crying. Shout out to everyone who paid their rent last week, and shout out to Trump voters, because y'all need all the support you can get right now. Today is Monday, March 14, 2025. Let's kick things off with Donald Trump's latest crisis. No, not legal troubles, not global trade, but his hair. That's right, while the rest of us are trying to afford eggs, Trump is out here beefing with his shower head. Apparently, low-flow plumbing fixtures are destroying his routine. He told reporters, quote, "You take a shower, the water drips down slowly, then you stand there longer." Look, man, I'd be worried about water pressure too. My entire aesthetic depending on the delicate placement of a legally unclassified animal on top of my skull. But this isn't just about him complaining. He's pushing for more rollbacks to water efficiency regulations. Again, the man wants us all out here wasting water so he can rinse and repeat in peace. Some presidents build infrastructure. Some gave people health care. This one wants to bring back toilet floods and shower streams strong enough to knock out a toddler. In other news, let's talk about Idaho, where a 16-year-old autistic boy, nonverbal, was shot by police during a welfare check. A welfare check. And now, his family has made a decision to take him off of life support. Think about that. Police were called to make sure he was safe, and instead, they killed him. It's not a failed protocol. That's a system running exactly how it was built. Still, police fired multiple rounds, didn't wait, didn't de-escalate. This is what happens when mental health gets criminalized, when neurodivergence is seen as a threat. The saddest part about all of this would just be another headline that fades unless we make sure that it doesn't. So for our tech news today, the FTC has officially taken Meta to trial, accusing Zuck and friends of running an illegal monopoly. I know. Calling Facebook a monopoly feels weird, but the power is real. Meta bought up Instagram and WhatsApp, killed the competition, and now controls what you see, what you like, and how your aunt radicalizes herself from farm game to fascism. They're asking the court to break it all up. Zuck's pretending to be an innovator when he's really just reinventing how to ruin your attention span. But let's be real. Meta controls your social life, your feed, your grandma's QAnon pipeline, and probably your dreams if you use one of those headsets they have. If the FTC wins, huge shift. If they lose, Zuckerberg's probably going to buy Congress next just to make sure it doesn't happen again. For our next story today, there was tragedy in New York over the weekend. A helicopter crashed into the Hudson River, killing all 6 people on board. Among the victims, Siemens Mobility executive Augustine Escobar, his wife, and their 3 children. The pilot, a Navy vet, lost his life as well. They were just on a sightseeing tour. Short scenic flight turned nightmare. The aircraft had no black box, no voice recorder, and was on its 8th flight of the day. Video shows the rotor detached mid-air. It's not bad luck, yo. That's a safety failure. New York's been flooded with these air tours for years, and this is the result. One bad part, one bad policy, one bad move, and now an entire family is gone. Condolences to the families. This wasn't just tragic, this was preventable. For our main news story of the day, Trump is back on his tariff train, and this time, he's got the whole planet on a schedule. The president has announced a sweeping 10% tariff on all imports, with an even higher penalty for U.S. trading rivals. China at 60%, the EU at 25%, and Japan at 20%. These are levels we haven't seen since Herbert Hoover said, "Let's spice up this depression." Just like that, markets are doing what markets do when Trump talks policy, dropping faster than his legal team's morale. Stock markets dipped sharply following the announcement, with the Dow Jones losing over 600 points in one day. Economists are raising red flags, warning that these tariffs could escalate into a full-blown trade war, push prices up for consumers, and slow down global growth. Trump's pitch: we're going to bring jobs back. The method? Economic whack-a-mole. He even paused some of the tariff hikes for 90 days because apparently we need time to brace for impact. The reality? Tariffs are basically taxes on imports, which means American businesses pay more than pass those costs to you. So if you like paying more for electronics, clothes, and cars, good news. The Trump tariff experience is live. Even Trump's former economic advisor, Gary Cohn, called it a massive tax on the American people. But sure, let's keep pretending this is about patriotism and not a tantrum dressed up as policy. This isn't just political theater. This affects real people. Companies have already started pulling deals and bracing for layoffs. And if this keeps up, Made in America might start meaning broke in America. Nobody wants to be broke in America. It's just not very American. It's not what we do. Look, in our final story of the day, Texas is dealing with a full-blown measles outbreak, thanks to years of vaccine defunding, misinformation, and politicians who think Facebook is a public health strategy. Since January, Texas has reported 541 confirmed measles cases, with outbreaks centered in Gaines County. This marks the state's largest outbreak in nearly 30 years. The disease has spread to neighboring states, bringing a total to over 600 cases nationwide. Tragically, 3 deaths have been linked to this outbreak: 2 unvaccinated children in Texas and 1 adult in New Mexico. Experts attribute this resurgence to stagnant vaccine funding and rising vaccine hesitancy. Texas, with some of the lowest per capita public health spending, has particularly suffered, with flatline vaccine grants failing to cover the growing demand and costs of outreach and staffing. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention emphasizes that a 95% vaccination rate is necessary to maintain herd immunity, a threshold currently met in only 11 U.S. states. Measles is highly contagious and preventable by the MMR vaccine. Yet in Texas, medical freedom apparently means turning preventable viruses into state residents. If this keeps up, we're going to need a time machine just to make it out of 2025 alive. So let's recap. Trump's worried about his shower pressure. Police are still shooting first and explaining later. Zuckerberg's back in court. Helicopters are falling out of the sky. Tariffs are tanking the economy. And Texas is coughing up a cautionary tale of measles. In other words, everything's normal in America. Don't worry about us. We'll be fine. This has been the Adonis Black Show, the only news show where we laugh to keep from crying. Hit that subscribe button. Share with someone who still thinks mainstream media means watching cable. And drop a comment. I want to hear what story hit you the hardest or what you think I should talk about next. See you Wednesday. Same chaos, same time, new punchlines.